Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fall themed readathon. It is Saturday, October 5th, and today I'm going to spend the whole day reading. So right now it's 11:30. I woke up at about 8 and started listening to my audiobook at like 8:15. So I vlogged through my morning up until now. So let's cut back to that and then I will talk to you guys afterwards to let you know where we are. Hi friends, good morning. Current time is 8:16. I have an hour until I have to go get my COVID shot. So in the meantime, I'm going to be listening to my audiobook. I have to eat breakfast and get ready, and I don't really feel like sitting down and starting a new book until I get home from that. So I've been listening to this book, The Water Dancer, this week, and I'm on chapter 11, which is 35% of the way through. So I am going to plan on my listening time today. Probably be listening to this, who knows. I will probably talk to you guys after my COVID shot appointment. Hi guys, I just got my COVID shot. I am now almost exactly halfway through this book. I listened to about an hour before I left for my appointment, and then I was just reading it in the waiting room, and then after I got my shot. I'm on page 198, and I think there are almost 400 pages. Yeah, 403 pages, so I'm almost halfway through this book. I am on my way to the library right now. I have a couple holds to pick up, and then I'm gonna go home. I think I'm gonna take a shower and then see what we get up to next. I'll see you after I go to the library. Hi guys, I am about to go back inside and probably take a shower, but I wanted to show you the books that I picked up from the library. They're both gigantic. First one is the second book in the Crescent City series, House of Sky and Breath. I will be reading this in another video, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. I've only read the first one so far, and I was waiting for my hold to come in on this one. I'm gonna have to refresh myself on the first one before I get into this one. But the other book I got, which I'm actually a little bit sad that this hold came in now because I have so many long books on my TBR this month that I'm excited for, and I honestly don't know if I'll get to this one this month, but it's called The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. This is a pretty new release, and it's like a retelling of King Arthur, and it sounds really cool. I don't know anything about King Arthur, but the concept of it was really cool. I don't know, but it was available for me, so I figured I would just pick it up. And worst thing, I just return it to the library and get back on the hold list. We'll listen to this while I shower, and then probably after I shower, I will come back to you with a little bit of an update. It's 11:30 now. I have been listening to The Water Dancer all morning. I have about 5 hours of the audiobook left, and I'm like midway through chapter 21. So I have about 150, 140 pages left of this. I have some craft projects that I'm working on up here, so I'm gonna listen to this a little bit longer, and then I think I'm gonna sit down and actually like physically read a book. But I'm hoping to finish this today. This was on my fall TBR. If you didn't watch my fall TBR video, I'll link it up in the cards. I'm looking to read a bunch of historical fiction this fall. However, the rest of the books I have on my potential TBR for today are much more like spooky, Halloween-y fall vibes than this one, I would say. Probably the next book I'm going to start is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, which is on my October TBR because it is my book club's book for the month of October. I just bought this the other day. I did not realize that it was almost 600 pages, and also the text in here is like full page, and I don't love that. But for book club next Thursday, I told everybody that we're reading to chapter 15, so that's where I've got to read. It's 180 pages, so it will probably take me at least 2.5 hours to read that. That's my guess. We'll see. This might be a super fast-paced book. I have honestly no idea what it's about. I tend to go into books kind of blind, which sometimes is good. Anyway, this is probably the first one I'll read. This seems very like Halloween-y, dark academia, spooky, so I am excited about this. It just seems like a lot longer of a book than I expected to be reading for book club this month. And then the next two books that I have are thrillers that I got out of the library earlier this week. First one, which I probably won't read in this video but may read in my next video, is Lisa Jewell, The Family Remains, which is the second book to The Family Upstairs series duology so far. I have this book, and then I also have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. The last book I read by him was super fast. I don't remember if it was like the best rating ever, but I enjoyed my time reading it. I haven't read a lot of thrillers recently, and I feel like this is like the perfect time of year for a thriller. And this one is set in Vermont at somebody's lake house, which is fun. But anyway, this one I will probably read today. I'm looking for a book that I can just like sit down and binge. And then the last couple books I have, which are on my October TBR, which I would also love to get into and finish this month, are Billy Summers by Stephen King. This is another thriller, my first Stephen King. So I think my plan for today is when I want to listen, I'll listen to The Water Dancer, and then the next book I'm going to read is start A Discovery of Witches and read till chapter 15 for book club, and then probably read The House Across the Lake and then finish off with this book. That's my sort of plan for the day. But if I finish The Water Dancer and I want more historical fiction, I also have The Nightingale. I do think I will actually read this one pretty quickly too, but it's a chunky book. So that's where we are right now. As far as my thoughts on The Water Dancer, I am really enjoying it. It took me a little while to get into it. I think I said this in my last video, but the thing that has been difficult for me reading this book is there's no year attached to it, and I'm sort of picking up on like historical context clues. Anyway, there has not been a single date written in this book, which I, at this point in the book, imagine is intentional, but starting it was kind of difficult for me to ground myself and figure out where we were in time. But other than that, the writing is really fantastic. The characters, I think, are really well developed. The only other thing that just happened in this book that has been very confusing to me is there was like a almost sci-fi like moment, and I'm unclear if that was just like a metaphor or if that really happened. This book seems to be like pushing some boundaries a little bit, and I'm not sure like what's real and what's in his head. Other than that, I am enjoying it. What I'm gonna do right now is listen to some more of this, and I have some embroidery projects that I have to finish with like a backing, and then I have some fabric to cut for some other projects. These are all Christmas gifts. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, and I will talk to you probably when I switch to like physically reading a book. Hi guys, it is 12:40 right now. Cannot believe I was up there for an hour doing what I was doing. I feel like it took me so long. But anyway, I am now on page 306, chapter 27. I am gonna pause reading this book for now. I'm about to eat some lunch and start A Discovery of Witches, which I am a little nervous about, but also excited. I think it will be good. Probably in about an hour, we're gonna leave and go over to my partner's mom's house to hang out with the pets, and obviously I'll bring my books with me there. But in the hour before we head out, I'm gonna see how much of a dent I can make in this book. I'm thinking at most 60 pages. I'm typically like a page per minute reader, unless it's like really big font or small pages, but like I said earlier, that's not what this book looks like. So we'll see how I feel getting into this book. I'm gonna eat my leftover Chipotle. Yeah, sit on the couch, read my book. It's gonna be a great time. Okay, coming back at you from the same place because Elijah's still playing his video game on the TV in the other room. So, it's 2 o'clock now. We are gonna leave in a few minutes to go over to Elijah's mom's house, like I said earlier. I ate my lunch and read. I'm on page 44, so not as far into this book as I expected to be, given that I started it like an hour and a half ago, but just took a little scroll break to just let my brain go numb for a few minutes. I generally have a hard time starting books. Like, I feel like the first 50 pages of any given book, I am just so confused and I'm very easily distracted. There are some books that's not the case, but longer books where there's a lot of setting up, I kind of go in feeling like I have no idea what's going on. And this one, I think after a couple chapters, I sort of understand. Basically, it seems like it's about this witch named Diana, and when we get her at the beginning of the book, she's in Oxford doing some studying. It seems like, I think she already has her PhD. She's being referred to as doctor. Anyway, most of the first 44 pages take place inside of the library, and she's found this book that has some sort of magic associated with it, and now all of these random magic creatures are showing up. And one key fact about Diana is she does not like to use her magic because she has devoted her life to studying alchemy, and she doesn't want people to think that her magic has gotten her to where she is academically. So in that study, though, she finds this magical manuscript and she's very intrigued by it, but she doesn't want to be using her magic, so we'll see what happens with that. A vampire showed up. I think there's gonna be some sort of like good versus evil magical creature situation going on. Anyway, that's where we are in this book. This feels so far almost like grown-up Harry Potter. I'm gonna keep reading. I have 140 pages left until I'm gonna stop reading in this book, and then I'll start probably that Riley Sager book I showed you earlier. But yeah, this is giving all of the cozy fall witchy vibes that I was expecting it to. We've got like dark academia, library, witches, vampires. This is the perfect book for today. All right, I will probably update you when I get to page 100 or something like that. Okay, we just got to Elijah's mom's house. I'm almost on page 100 and I'm really...
Sorry.
I am finally feeling like I'm in this book. And I think there's gonna be a romance, which I didn't expect, but is always fun. But yeah, we're just hanging out here with the animals. Elijah's gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna read my book. I have about 80 more pages and then I'm gonna start another book. So hoping I can crank through these. It is now 3:30, so this is taking me a lot longer than I expected, but still enjoying it. So that's the update for now. Okay, hi guys. So I'm gonna read of a discovery of witches for today. There's this unrequited love story going on that I am really interested in seeing how it turns out, because it's very like, I don't think they can be together, but they seem to be obsessed with each other. I am enjoying it. It's not like super fast moving plot yet, so I feel like it was kind of hard for me to get through, but I like the main characters a lot and the writing is pretty easy to read. So now I'm gonna start The House Across the Lake. I am hoping this will be a quick read because I just need something that's kind of mindless. It looks like it's 350 pages, but what I remember from Riley Sager is that his writing is pretty quick. So I will update you when I'm a little bit into this so that I can give you a little plot summary. I'm gonna go into this blind, see what we think, and I'll talk to you guys later. It's much later now. As you can tell, it's pretty dark behind me. It's only 7:30, but it's getting dark so early now, but we're back home. Elijah's mom came home and I was just chit-chatting with her. So I have not been keeping my streak of reading non-stop, but I basically read non-stop from like 8:15 in the morning until 3 o'clock pretty much, and then went to Elijah's house and then read probably from like 3:30 until 5:30 at least. So I've done a lot of reading today. I think I let you know that I got to the point where I was going to stop in A Discovery of Witches. I do kind of have a feeling that in the next 100 pages or so things are really gonna pick up, and then I'm gonna not want to stop reading. So after book club this week I will probably just try to finish it. Yeah, you'll have to wait till my wrap up at the end of the month to see what my thoughts are on that one. Then I started The House Across the Lake. I'm about 45 pages into this book. From what I gather so far, the main character Casey is an actress and she is currently staying at her family's cabin on a lake in Vermont, and the book starts off with a detective talking to Casey about this man that's missing who's her neighbor in the house across the lake. This whole section that I just have been reading is before that happened. Anyway, it's moving really fast. I feel like after reading A Discovery of Witches and then also The Water Dancer is like more dense, like high quality writing. Anyway, I'm reading it really quickly is what I'm trying to say. There's been a lot of backstory. From what I remember, the last Riley Sager book I read, there was a lot of character building, which is interesting for a mystery. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I always love character building, but like they set up what the mystery is going to be and then there's like 100 pages of this girl's backstory. So I am enjoying it. It's not been boring and I'm reading it quickly. So I am cooking my dinner in the air fryer right now. It's chicken nugget night because I am not feeling like doing a whole meal right now. Surprisingly, the effects of my COVID shot have not hit me yet, but I am sensing it will happen soon. I'm gonna stay awake as long as I feel awake, and I'm gonna read in this book, and then I would like to finish The Water Dancer tonight. So probably once I hit like page 100 at least in this book, maybe I'll read just like for another hour. I should easily get to page, I definitely will get to page 100 in an hour. I'm reading this pretty quick. I think I will switch to my audiobook and work on my sewing projects. And honestly, not sure what my plans yet are for tomorrow, but may continue this into tomorrow because I would like to finish more than one book in this video if I'm doing a readathon. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I am gonna go sit and read this book, eat some dinner. Hi guys, I am now switching to my audiobook. I read to about page 100 of The House Across the Lake. Things are getting kind of freaky. The premise of it is that the main character, her husband died. He drowned at this lake house like a year or so before, and since then she has become an alcoholic, and her mom has sent her to this lake house to try to recover, which, first of all, ridiculous. Like, why send your daughter to a place by herself where her husband died just like a year before and expect her to like not drink if she's already an alcoholic? Anyway, her habit that she's picked up is spying on the neighbors in the house across the lake, and she just saw something a little bit suspicious. Anyway, I'm gonna listen to this. I have probably about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes left listening to this on 1.75, and I'm gonna work on my sewing project. I am really enjoying this book and I'm glad I'm listening to it. It's helping me like process what's going on a little bit better. So that's the update for now. Talk to you guys later. Okay guys, I have gotten to a point in my sewing project where I am getting frustrated, which means it's time for me to stop. This is how I practice my hobbies, is if it gets to a point where I will get upset, I step back, revisit it the next day, and usually the problem resolves itself. And frankly, at almost 9:30, I don't feel like problem solving my sewing machine. So just wanted to say that I have about 2 hours left in my audiobook for The Water Dancer. I think I'm gonna switch back to my other book for a little bit, but I will update you after I have my dessert. Hi guys, I am about to go to bed. I Honestly, I'm feeling so awake right now. I am on page 184 of my book. This one I've been reading, The House Across the Lake. And I feel like I could stay up and finish it. However, it is getting really spooky, and frankly, it being like a mystery thriller book set in Vermont is not really like the book I want to be reading before bed. But it is the book I want to be reading before bed because I want to know what's happening. Something just got revealed that I totally guessed. It's like probably the first like really big plot reveal. And I've heard from a lot of people that read thrillers that bothers them when they can guess the plot twists, and sometimes that bothers me. Well, I'll let you know at the end how I feel about this book, but I think it's nice when you get hints about what the plot twist is going to be, because I don't like reading thrillers where it comes completely out of nowhere and there's like no thread for it at all. But anyway, I definitely guessed this one. So I'm really intrigued. I'm reading this so fast, and I probably will lay in bed and read some of it, but I may switch over to The Water Dancer because I do really need to sleep a lot tonight to get my immune system restored after my COVID shot. All of this to say, I can't really say too much more about what's going on in this book other than I like the way it's going. I think I probably will wake up tomorrow morning, sit on the couch and finish it. And I will continue this into tomorrow morning, so I want to be able to give you my opinions on books and finish them, so I can read and finish The House Across the Lake tomorrow and read and finish The Water Dancer tomorrow too. That's the story for right now. I'm gonna go read a little bit more, try to fall asleep. In total today, I read at least 12 hours, maybe 13 hours, which is crazy, but it's been really nice, like not feeling like I've had much else to do. So I will talk to you guys in the morning. Good night. Hi friends, it is Sunday now. I woke up feeling horrible because of my vaccine, but that just means that it's doing its job and my immune system is fighting it off, building up immunity. But anyway, I am starting to feel a little better. I woke up at like 6 and then was like tossing and turning for an hour trying to fall back asleep, but I couldn't. So I just started reading my book, and then I could not stop reading my book. And so I finished it. And Elijah just left, and thank God I finished it before Elijah left because it was spooky. Like I said last night, there was like a plot twist that I predicted, like probably about halfway through. And then after that, the next really big plot twist completely did not see coming. And honestly, I'm not gonna say what it is because I feel like if I do, that will spoil some stuff, and especially with mystery thrillers, like it's best to go into them blind. If you read this book, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the big explanation, and I don't know how to talk around this, but anyway, I'll just say I didn't really like it. However, this book kept me gripped the whole entire time. I probably would have sat and read this whole book in one sitting if I didn't have to go to bed. And last night before I went to bed, I couldn't fall asleep, and I read another probably like 30 pages of this book. So I have only about 30 pages left, so I'm gonna finish this book next. But anyway, back to The House Across the Lake. I didn't want to read it before bed because I knew it would keep me awake, and then I definitely wouldn't be able to fall asleep because it was so spooky. And then at the very end, there was another plot twist, I would say. But it was a little wacky. I don't really love the main character that much. Her main character trait was that she was an alcoholic, and I feel like other than that, there was not a lot of character development. Again, this is a thriller, like that's not really what I was reading it for, but because I could not put this down, I read 170 pages of this probably in an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So this definitely moved very quickly. I would recommend it if you like a spooky mystery thriller book. It's fun because it was set in Vermont. All in all, I did enjoy my reading experience. I probably would rate this 4 stars because it was really fun to read, but probably in about a month, I will not remember what happened in this book. That's my thoughts on The House Across the Lake. One book actually finished. I am gonna finish this book next. I probably will listen to the end of it. I'm about to eat my delicious acai bowl that I made for breakfast. I've been like so craving to watch a YouTube video because I literally, since I woke up at 8:15 yesterday, basically did nothing but read. I feel like my brain needs a little break. And then after I finish The Water Dancer, I think my next book is gonna be Billy Summers. I'm kind of feeling the spooky horror thriller vibe, and I also was able to get this audiobook out, so if I start this today and want to listen to it through the week,
I will be able to do that. But I'm thinking this one is going to move pretty fast based on like the chapter lengths. Anyway, I feel like I've talked about this in every video that I've made in the last month, but I am excited to read Stephen King. I've never read Stephen King before, so I think this one will be a good start. So that's where we're at right now. Enough gabbing from me. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, veg out for a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna go work on my sewing project and finish The Water Dancer. Okay guys, I am upstairs now at my sewing machine. I have an hour left of my audiobook, and yeah, I'm gonna sit here, read, sew. When I'm done reading, I will let you know what my thoughts are on this book. Water Dancer. It's about 11 o'clock right now. I so enjoyed this book. I feel like because I listened to it, I was worried that I was gonna miss out on a lot of like the beautiful writing that I picked it up for because I thought it was so beautiful, but I don't think that impacted my reading experience at all. This is such a well-written story about, honestly, a piece of history that I do not know enough about, and this made me want to do a bit of a deep dive learning on the Underground Railroad, which obviously I know what the Underground Railroad is, but there's so much more to the history than just what it was simply. And I think that the way that this book told the story of it was really fascinating because it brings in some sort of like magical element almost, but still talks so much about the feelings and emotions that people had surrounding it. Basically, I feel like I learned a lot reading this fiction book, so I'm going to go and do some more of my own personal learning about more of the history of it. I'm curious as to how they talk about, there's one family in this story that is based off of a real family, but I'm curious about if there are any other families in here that are based on real life people. So anyway, if you have not read this book, you definitely should add it to your TBR. It was so good, and it was a bit of an intense story at times, but honestly, I think that the way that it talked about the emotions of the characters really helped you like see their world through their eyes, which is my favorite thing about reading, but especially about historical fiction, is because you kind of get to be like brought back in time almost and get to experience someone else's life through reading. All of this to say, I think I'm gonna rate this book 5 stars. I wasn't sure when I began reading it because it was kind of slow at the beginning, but you definitely do grow to be so connected to the characters, especially Hiram, the main character. I just like cared so much about him and his story at the end, and the writing was so beautiful. So anyway, I'm very happy that I finished this book. This is also one of my top 24 for 2024 books, so I can check that off that list. And yeah, definitely pick this one up. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit more crafting here, and then I think I'm gonna start reading Billy Summers. I may listen to, probably will, like, I want to start physically reading it, maybe the first few chapters, and then listen to a little bit of it. I have some cleaning projects that I have to do because it's Sunday. Also happy to report that I feel so much better. I definitely just like didn't sleep the best last night, and so I woke up feeling really bad from the vaccine I had. But yeah, that's all I have to update you on right now, and I will talk to you probably after I start Billy Summers. Hi guys, I am now 3 chapters into Billy Summers. I'm on about page 30, so not super far into it yet, but I've sort of got the gist of what's going on. If you don't know, it's about this guy named Billy Summers who is a hitman, but all the jobs he's done in the past are only against bad people. Like, he gets hired to take out bad guys. And he gets this job that's going to be $2 million payout, which is like way more than he's ever made on a job before. And his alter ego is going to be a writer. And what's so funny is the town that he's from is like basically where I grew up. Stephen King is from Maine, like pretty close to where I grew up. So it doesn't surprise me that that town name has popped up in this book, but it's just kind of fun. A couple things so far. I feel like the writing is really easy to read. I'm starting to like Billy. There's just some things that have been said, mainly by other characters, that are just kind of icky, and I have a hard time with that in books because, like, you could make the argument of, like, well, it's the character, like, the character is being painted in a bad light, like, you're supposed to not like him, and that's why he's saying stuff like that. But at the same time, like, do we even have to be saying it at all? But anyway, I am intrigued. I don't see this going well for Billy. The other thing is this seems to fall into very much like heist novel territory, which I have watched a bunch of movies like that that are like comedy heist. I don't know if that's the right like genre to categorize it as, but I love those kinds of movies. And so I think I am gonna enjoy the plot of this. I have some cleaning I have to do, and then I really am like so sucked into my sewing project, so I'm probably gonna like set a timer for 30 minutes, do the dishes, do some laundry, whatever other cleaning I have to do, and then get back to my sewing. But like I said, I do have the audiobook of this, so I probably will listen to it while I clean and sew. All right, that's all for me for now. Hi guys, I'm back in my sewing area up here. It's about 1:40 and I did the cleaning I wanted to do. I've been listening to the Billy Summers audiobook a little bit. I don't really like the narrator. I've gotten to a point where I've listened to so many audiobooks I can sort of look past that. But anyway, my feelings on the book haven't really changed too much. Billy's just gotten like set up in where he's living as his alias, getting into that community before he has to do his job. I don't know, there's just some things about it that I'm like, did you really have to say that? It's like a lot of very stereotypical characters that I don't know if I like that vibe. And they keep talking about Trump, and like, I hate Trump just as much as the next guy, but I have this thing in books where I don't love like direct references to pop culture, current history. It just kind of makes it, I just get the ick from it a little bit. I can't explain it. And like, there's probably like some social commentary going on that I likely agree with, but I just feel like it's a little bit heavy-handed. So I'm gonna listen to a little bit more, work on my sewing project. That's where we're at right now. Been listening for a few minutes and this thing just popped up that like is exactly the point I'm trying to make. Like, Billy's sitting at lunch with some people from the new office that he's working at, and he's like, oh yeah, look at this guy. He's like wearing this outfit. They're describing this kind of crazy outfit, and then one of the people that he's with, he's like, oh yeah, that's Colin. He's hella gay. He's like such a social butterfly though too. Like you set up the stereotype of like a flamboyant, takes fashion risks, very social person, and then you also make his character gay. I just feel like every character in this book is like a caricature. That maybe it's on purpose, but I feel like you don't have to do that. Like, that sort of thing drives me crazy. That's like the point I was trying to make earlier. Hi guys, it is now about 4 o'clock. I am about to head out to do some grocery shopping, but I wanted to give you a quick little reading update. I am on page 160 now. I was just sewing for a couple hours, so I got through quite a bit of the audiobook. Still not loving the narrator voice, but he's growing on me. I feel like it's interesting to go from a mystery like I just read this morning that was like very much like what's gonna happen, like super suspenseful solving a mystery, to like a hitman novel where like there's a little bit of element of mystery. Like Billy Summers is very suspicious that there's something wrong, something bad going on, but it's not like an active like where did the woman go sort of plot. But I am enjoying it. It's stressing me out a little bit, all of the lies that he's telling, but I guess this has been his career and so he's good at it. But I think the writing is pretty good. I feel like there are definitely some qualms that I have, like I talked about before with like the stereotypical characters, but other than that, I am enjoying this and I'm interested to see what happens next. And I do think that I'll probably finish it in a couple of days because it is moving pretty quickly. So yeah, that's the update I have for now. I probably will read a little more and then end off this video later tonight. Hi guys, I just want to come on here and end the video. I didn't end up reading any more of Billy Summer since I last talked to you, and I think that this video has reached its natural conclusion. So I want to wrap up all of the books that I've been reading this weekend. Here is the stack. Let's just go in chronological order, shall we? The first book I was reading is Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer, and I ended up reading this book of 5 stars. I loved this. The writing was beautiful, the story was really moving. Just like I really felt like I was put in this character's shoes while reading this. I listened to most of this book, but I really enjoyed this and I would definitely recommend it. The next book that I read was A Discovery of Witches, and I only read to about page 180 because I had to stop for my book club meeting this week, and I'm so excited to read more of this. You'll have to wait till my October wrap up to see what I think about the rest, but I'm just so interested. Like the unrequited love, like they can't be together but they really want to be together, plot line is really intriguing me. The main character seems kind of fun. I just love the like cozy, spooky, witchy vibes in this. It's like the perfect book for October. And then the next book I read was The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I flew through this one and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for something fun and really eerie and spooky. And honestly, after reading this, I feel like I'm just like craving that vibe. Like this book I rated at 4 stars. The writing was mediocre. The plot moved really fast. I guessed some things, I didn't guess other things. There was one major plot twist I didn't love, but other than that, like, I really enjoyed my reading experience. Will definitely be picking up more Riley Sager books. And then the last book that I was reading and am still reading is Billy Summers by Stephen King. So far I'm really enjoying this, and I think that a new genre that I may have to get into some more is crime fiction. The only like crime fiction I've read, I would say, is like some fantasy books that have that element to it. And like I said earlier, these sort of movies are movies that I really enjoy, and I don't know, I'm just like really enjoying this. There's some things about it that I don't like I talked about earlier, but so far it doesn't feel like it's moving super slowly, and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. Like the big thing that the main character is supposed to do seems like it's about to happen, but then I'm not even halfway down the book, so I'm not really sure if that's truly gonna happen. And those are all of the books I read in this video. This was so fun. I feel like this is like my dream weekend to just like do nothing but craft and read and have no obligations or responsibilities. And yeah, if you have the time to do this, I would definitely recommend it, especially in the fall time, because this is the perfect time for like cozy curling up inside all day and reading. So let me know down below if you enjoyed this video, what videos you want to see from me next, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything from me in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Bye friends!